Hi, I'm Colin Green. Welcome to our presentation, Online Learning, Why Do We Need It? In this presentation, we'll see how some schools are using online learning as a key tool in their strategies for raising standards and improving learning outcomes. In the past few years, schools have been operating not only in changing circumstances, but also challenging ones. As you can see, there are a number of issues that affected schools' confidence and abilities in using online tools. We've seen a change in requirements and expectations, and some aspects have slipped off the agenda altogether. Schools have also been operating in times of budgetary constraint, the first time in something like 20 years when schools haven't had IT-specific funding. We've also seen changes in the curriculum, and schools are uncertain where they stand with the disapplication of ICT. And in addition to that, some schools have failed to embed their online learning solutions. This has led some schools to question online learning, why bother? In this presentation, we'll see examples and hear testimonials from schools where online learning is making a difference to learning outcomes. The main focus will be on three key areas that underpin successful learning in all schools. Firstly, being ready for learning. We are all aware that children do not all learn at the same time and the same rate. Schools have adjusted timetables, made changes to school days. They've done all of these kind of things, and yet still the conditions for learning for individuals vary from time to time, day to day. Secondly, meeting preferred learning styles. Schools are very familiar with the terms visual, auditory and kinesthetic learners. We are aware that learners need to have different materials in different formats. And again, this presentation will show how that's being achieved through online learning. Thirdly, we're aware that children learn best when there are partners in their education, and again we'll see particularly the involvement of parents in children's learning, and we'll see other partners too. Our school examples come from a variety of schools, from foundation stage to secondary schools, all the way to A-level. They're also from a range of contexts, including small primary and large secondary schools. We'll start our first example with the foundation stage at Martley CE Primary School, Worcestershire.
Our first example is one that really shows parental engagement. It's Martley CE Primary School, their foundation stage class, Holly, and they maintain a weekly blog. The blog is made up of entries that reflect and review the children's learning for that particular week. In each of the articles, children's names are referenced or their images are part of the blog. That way, parents are really engaged as they look for the contributions about and from their children. As the blog has progressed, there have been lots of different elements to it, including children's work shared through video and through images, but a key feature has been the comment feature. This enables parents to contribute and be actively involved in their child's learning. In the foundation stage area, there is also a support area for parents that provides parents with resources to help their children learn at home. One key aspect of the foundation stage is the articulation of phonemes. Not only do they have this standard site video that is now hosted on YouTube, but they've also cropped that video so that they can focus on a particular letter sound or phoneme. Also, they've now launched a postie that enables parents and grandparents to share with their children the toys that they used when they were children. This is a really good example of parental engagement in foundation stage.
Let's hear from Mrs. Gowan, head teacher at Eccleston Lane Ends, and who shares her vision of online learning and the involvement of parents.
Future online learning plans are wide-ranging. We want to make sure that every family at home has an opportunity to extend classroom learning should they want to as a family. So the children have got far-reaching opportunities. The main thing that I really like about Life is that it's very child-friendly, so you can put videos, films, animations in there, all to help the children with their learning. For the children, it's very easy to use. They can navigate around the cells very easily, and it really does enrich their learning, both in school and at home as well.
Now look at another clip where Mr Loftus from Eccleston Lane Ends, plus one of his students, demonstrate and explain some of the things that they've been doing online and where the enthusiasm and the engagement really shines through.
I'm using the forum tool today because I want the children to write to create a certain atmosphere, a certain mood, and the children are able to watch the video, pause the video, and then write about it. I've discovered my life and I want to use it because basically it allows the children to choose what they want to do. It's their own little area that they can put posties in, wikis in, and they can decide what the subject is going to be and what they're going to write on the Life Learning Cloud. Another group of children it really inspires as well is boys, because they have that kind of freedom to really write about the things that they're personally interested in. So they will choose football, they will choose the latest computer game they're on, they'll choose whatever they want really, but because they can do what they want, they're more likely to have a go at it when they get home, rather than something that's been set for them.
The thing that I like about Life is that when people do like a piece of work, other people can have a look what the other person's done and comment, so when they come back on it they can click on the comment, so then they can look at it and say, oh yeah, I'll put that in my work next time.
We're back to Martley CFE Primary School, this time in the Year 4-5 class. These children were involved in a literacy unit on report and recount writing. As part of that project, they undertook a video project to produce their own news bulletins. The first activity was to be involved in a postie activity where the children shared news reports that they had been watching on the television or listening to on the radio. As you can see, they did this outside of school hours. Every single child contributed at least once, and some of their entries were quite extensive. Meanwhile, whilst they were carrying on that activity, the whole school were involved in an art project around the story of the Tin Forest. This became the focus for children's news bulletins. They scripted news reports, they filmed the news reports, and they were posted online. As they were posted online, they were available to children in school and to parents at home. And their next activity involved the news bulletins involved them evaluating their reports, and the children, using their success criteria, posted their evaluations for others to see in a forum. They also used a survey to vote for their favourite report. Finally, they evaluated their own performances, highlighting what they'd done well, but also what they would improve if they were to do it again.
We're now going to hear from Mr Godfrey, Deputy Head at Dame Alice Owen School. In this case, it's how a secondary school is extending learning beyond the end of the school day.
As a school, we're very much involved with helping students to become lifelong learners, and one of the things that we have been trying to develop is learning beyond the classroom, and Life has helped us to do that. all in all, we've been really enthusiastic about it, both from the student point of view and from my point of view. It's been a really useful way of extending the learning beyond the classroom.
We're now in St Dominic's International School in Portugal. We're in the IT department within their senior school. Within here, they've used wikis to enable individual students to maintain a reflection and learning process journal to accompany a SketchUp project. We're going to be looking at Afonso's particular entry. As you can see, he has used the wiki to maintain a diary. His entries consist of both text and also videos that are hosted on YouTube. When we go into the article versions and changes, you'll see that Afonso has actually created 41 versions of his diary. He's updated it 40 times from the initial entry. You'll also notice that these entries are undertaken beyond the end of the school day. The first one 1943, 1724. So he has a reflective journal that he maintains at home as well as in school.
In this clip, Ms Kramer from Dame Alice Owens, Modern Languages, talks about the impact of using online learning with her class of Year 13 students.
The way I've been using Life has been for both an academic and a pastoral perspective. I've been using it with my Year 13 class, and we've used a wiki, an interactive wiki, for the play we've been studying, and they've built up a quotes and examples bank that they can then use when they're writing their essays, and they've built that up partly in lessons and partly at home, and it covers the entire play, and it's made it much more user-friendly, and it's made the whole process 100 times quicker than when we did it in class, and very much piecemeal.
So through the presentation, we've seen a number of schools and a number of teachers and students talking about how online learning is making a difference to learning outcomes. But the final word has to go to a teacher in St Augustine School, St Helens, Mr Tony McCabe.
The great thing about Life is that as a teacher, you don't have to do very much at all. It's student-led. They're in charge of their own learning, and they themselves are making their own record of learning. They're evidencing their knowledge and their understanding of the unit. The great thing about Life is that you can, as an administrator, you can go in and you can see the usage of students in your class. And there is actually a correlation between the students in my RE group who use Life the most with the students who attained the highest grades of A and A star in the first module of the Year 10 exams.